The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis-style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4-meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. Welcome everybody to the STL Hockey Fan Podcast. I am Corey, this is Jesse, and the Blues actually play in less than an hour.
45 minutes.
They're going up against the Kings, trying to bounce back after, this is the first thing we can get into, after a rough one against the Sharks, ending with a little trickle-in goal behind Joel Hofer with, I think it was 26 seconds. Every time something happens like that, it burns into my brain. You got 1.6, you got 26. It's killing us all. So it's crazy that I hyped up, and granted, none of this was his fault. I hyped up Logan Mailloux so hard, and the guy gets, 2 or 3 goals bounced off of him into the net, and now that looks like the beginning of the season.
I will say that his passing wasn't amazing either, and I texted you this as it was happening. I was like, brother, please. And, I knew that, going into this game, it was high pressure, and a lot of our guys are young, and they haven't really, they've dealt with this, but on a lower level, not like a meaningful game at the end of March, which I didn't expect out of the Blues this season. Did you?
Not even a little. Nope.
No. And so here we are. And so, yes, I'm critiquing every pass, every touch of the puck, everything, because now it almost seems like it counts.
Yeah, everything's going to have an impact now. And I will say, not just Mailloux, definitely Mailloux, but not just Mailloux. Everybody's passes were off. And I'll throw this out there, even the Sharks, because it seemed like nobody could settle the puck. Like, it was constantly bouncing over somebody's stick or something like that. It was horrible puck luck for pretty much everybody, but the Sharks got the last lucky bounce in the end. Now, what we wanted at this point was, you take care of the Sharks. It could have been an overtime. That's fine. But take care of the Sharks, and then whenever you get to LA tonight and to Anaheim, you take care of those guys. Now, they don't have to be blowouts. Like, all the games that have been happening are really close. But in the report from Ferrario, he was saying a 7-2-1 record. That makes just a ton of sense to me. So I've been, really kind of sticking to that. And like I said in one of my videos, you were saving your 2 regulation losses for Colorado.
I don't buy that.
And now you don't have that.
Yeah, I don't buy that because honestly, so you do well. You lose those 2 games to Colorado, and you enter the first round of the playoffs. Who do we face?
Colorado.
Yeah. So no, I don't buy the giving up 2 losses to Colorado just based off of what we've seen this past season, because you dial it back a few months ago, that's not the St. Louis Blues that we see today.
Very true.
And so to say like give up those 2 games to Colorado is a hard sell for me because we're gonna have to face them for a best of 7 here soon.
That is true. I honestly, I didn't think about that, but I kind of did in the sense that like we're all really hyped up in the and we're wanting to see these guys win and get into the playoffs. But like, what happens when we get to the playoffs? Like, do we really think that we have a shot against them? Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but like I personally, over 7 games, I don't know if they can. Now, what's gonna be your, like, barometer on, kinda figuring that out? It's gonna be these 2 games. So, I don't know. I think, for one, like, let's go worst case scenario. What if they lose tonight, they lose to Anaheim? Like, at that point, you have to just win every game
Yes.
to even
And
have a chance.
yeah.
Um
And I mean, let's be real, Corey. Like a couple weeks ago, we were discussing what we were going to talk about during the off season
Right,
because it
because
was
it was gonna
coming
be a long one.
hot and fast and hard. And then all of a sudden, wait, we still have meaningful games at the end of March.
Yep.
What? Like, thank
Yeah,
you, St. Louis. I'll take it. But
absolutely.
uh,
Complete shock. Complete
yeah,
shock. Um, but yes, we will absolutely take it. So we can talk about the game tonight a little bit, but I mean, obviously, in a few hours, that portion won't even be relevant. So um, they are going with Benner,
yep,
which I mean, at this point in the season, both
you
of them
have
are
to.
doing pretty great. And yes, you do have to,
Yeah.
because these guys got to split this. You can't. I don't think you can ride one too much, especially like Hofer after giving up 5. Like, come
He let a
on.
5. Yeah, let's be
Yeah.
realistic about it. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't see like an offsides or like a high stick in front of any of those. You know what I mean? Like
Oh.
those are all fair and square. Um,
Well, the one came off Jake Neighbors' stick, and I think that got Celebrini's 100th point. Which, did he get that goal? I don't know. I'm not going to
right.
argue it, but it did happen. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I will say it, not to derail too much, when it comes to this season, a lot of milestones hit against the Blues.
Yes.
Like, and it's just so upsetting. Like, I mean, now I don't think it's as upsetting as it was when Ovi um got his like record-breaking goal. Who was it against? Can you help me out? I feel like it was
Um,
the Blue Jackets, but I could be wrong.
it's possible with the Blue
Um
Jackets. I'm not certain.
but like he got the goal, and then his entire team comes out, mobs him, crazy stuff,
Yes.
crazy. And then it was waved off. It was called back. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they continue the game, and then he gets it again, fair and square this time, and they mob him again. So like obviously that mob takes forever, and on top of that, when he actually got it, they had a whole ceremony for him. And Columbus, if that's who it was, the other team, the opposition, is just standing there watching
Standing
this
there. Yeah.
while you're losing, and you're like, "Ugh." Yeah, I don't know why it seemed to happen a lot against the Blues this season.
Well,
Just all
let's
around
talk
fortunate.
about let's talk about not the Blues this season, but the Blues of March,
Yeah,
because apparently they're the best in the NHL
that
in the
is
month of March.
incredible.
We are 10-2 and 2. Well, this may be a little outdated, but
Right,
it's
right. At this point,
literally the best in the NHL for the month. And
which
now
is
we have
absolutely insane.
the best rookie of the month as well, coming from Jimmy Snuggerud. So, like, I have a question for you.
Hit me.
Why can't we just do this?
Yeah,
It's the same
yeah,
people.
yep. That is a great question. Um, Whenever they talked to Jim Montgomery, he was talking about kind of how things went from the beginning of the season, and he was like, they thought they were going to be good, and when they weren't, they stopped working. Um, and I guess yes, you have all these expectations of yourself, and you'll get down on yourself and all that, but like he said, now they are finding solutions. Um, I think they could have found solutions a little bit earlier, um, but that's just me. But right now, they're finding solutions. Have lost Braden Shen. They have lost Justin Falk. At no or in no way am I what's the word implying that they had like any type of a negative impact.
Negative
Um,
impact, yeah.
yeah,
I
in
don't
no
think
way
they
am I
did.
saying that they had a negative impact on the team, but like it's a whole brand new makeup, and you have um, guys in roles where they are trusted more. And I don't know about anyone else, but like when you trust me with something, like the only thing I want to do is prove you right. Um, and so I have a feeling these guys are kind of going through the same thing. Like you trusted me with this role. I'm you know, Philip Broberg, you've trusted me to be a top D man. I'm Jimmy Snuggerud, you've trusted me to be a top forward. Uh, or Joel Hofer, you've trusted me to be your number one. Like, so I think we have a lot of guys that have just finally, I don't know why, only now decided to like, really, really prove themselves. Um, and it's just working in our favor.
It is, and I will say that like over the past few games, we've watched it and we've watched these guys develop from. So you can say it was a break, but during that break, the head coach, everybody, all the coaches had free reign at this team to say, "Hey, this is what we're doing right, and this is what we're doing wrong. So let's focus on that stuff." And if you look back on the top comment on our last video, it says we swapped defensive schemes. This season, when we weren't working early, that hurt. Needed a long break, the Olympic break, to
Yeah.
sort that out. And I feel like we did sort that out.
Yes.
And aside from the other night's game with Mayu, I felt like we had that kind of under our finger. But at the same time, I mean, you post our text message thread, Corey. What was I
Yes.
saying? I was like, gosh dang, this passing is horrendous,
Yep.
and that's how I felt about the other night's game. Although San Jose came out in full force, they were looking, I wouldn't say better, but more active than the Blues.
Right.
The Blues got a little momentum. They got a goal, and then boom, penalty. Boom,
Yes.
penalty. Boom, penalty. And so it just takes the wind out of your sails when you're doing well, and then all of a sudden you have two penalties and you got two goals against you as well.
Yep.
In a game where 9 goals are scored, I mean, the Blues have scored 17 goals in the past 5 games.
That's insane.
That's insane in itself. So if we can score, like the offense keeps producing great, but you can't get beat 4-5.
Right.
Like it's just yeah.
Yeah, I think that that and the previous games in March have kind of proven that they have like a will to get back in it, because like every single game has been really, really close. And so it's either it's either they're chasing and trying to get back into it, or the other team, either way. But you go to this one, and like most of the other games have been what, 2 goals, 3 goals for the
Yeah,
Blues.
yeah,
Like,
two, yeah, that's it.
yeah, like it hasn't been extravagant.
Yeah.
Um, But then you come to, this game in San Jose. Well, they keep getting up on you. Well, they just keep coming back. They surpass their 2, 3 goals. Now they're at 4 goals, and if that one goal doesn't trickle in, they go to overtime. I think they have it. Um, But I think it just shows like the drive that they have. And I would like to say the driving force in like making this run happen.
I agree. I am apprehensive about saying this run, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and only because like, last week everybody's like 4 points out, 4 points out, 4 points out. Like it's, the Kings in 2012 or something like that. Like,
Right, right, right.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and I get it. We've done that once. And
Right.
so like I
Well,
understand the hope of everybody,
yeah.
but
Yeah, well,
yeah.
whenever I'm saying run, I mean, like, we have 9 games left, like, just the last one of
Right.
the season, but,
Gotcha. Okay.
yes, like, no, I was hoping for that 5 in a row. I was hoping for that run. Um, Coming into April, 5 in a row, like, even if we coulda just gotten that 1 point, you know?
That's all
But
I was honestly asking for was just 1 point out of that
yeah, yeah,
situation. I
yeah,
mean, we put up
completely.
4 goals, and Hofer did very well against
Yeah,
a very hungry San Jose Sharks team. Mind
yeah,
you, the last time he played Celebrini, he was in a drought. He had not done well, and I went to that game, and I was like, oh, he just skates around. That was
mhm.
my honest, like I don't know what the word is, but
Review.
observation of him. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, he's just on the ice. But um, little did I know that he was in a drought at that point. And
mhm,
now it sucks to be the team that the one of the best players in the league breaks out against. He
yes.
gets his 100th point, which I mean, really, one of the goals came off Jakey's stick. So
Yeah, well, and
call it what
how
you
many
want,
other
but
goals are
yeah,
like that, you know?
right.
Because
Yes,
they're still gonna count it in the history books, you know what I mean?
yes, yeah,
Like, if we wanted to go that route, we could say Keith Tkachuk's teeth, got a goal, an assist by
right.
TJ Oshie, you know what I mean?
Brett
So,
Hall,
yeah, yeah, just
like yeah,
absolutely insane.
yeah.
Um, so they play tonight. If if they if they win this one, personally, like, I think they will. Now, I hate doing that because I don't wanna jinx us. I'm literally not superstitious in anything but sports.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
but, uh, if they win this one, and I think they will, they'll get, back on track. Hopefully, we can hit Anaheim, and then do you think that we can sweep Colorado? $1,000,000 question. Can we sweep them? And then do you take those implications to like hopefully a first round matchup? And also pull me back to reality.
Do we take both games against Colorado Avalanche? Yeah,
That's crazy. I did not expect you to say that. So
yeah.
elaborate, please.
Okay, so this is where I come from. We play to the level of our opponents, right? More specifically, if we have a bad team, we seem to play down, and if we have a good team that we're playing against, we seem to play up.
Yep.
So I won't say anything about the last game that we had against Colorado when they smoked us like 8-1 or whatever it was, because we were a very beat up team at that point.
Yep.
We were missing players, we were not doing good, and now the tides have shifted. And I think that we got the number one rookie in the NHL right now, Jimmy Snuggerud, coming in hot. We have the whole team performing. When I touch back on the 17 goals in 5 games, that's not 2 guys. That's not 3 guys. That's like 8 guys actually putting out. So, yes, I think that we actually have a chance against the Colorado Avalanche at least one game.
So what's funny with that? So we don't want to talk about, the Blues game against them. No, no, no.
Yeah.
However, do we want to talk about the Avalanche against the Flames? just a few nights ago.
What
Avalanche,
happened there?
they were up 5-0 in the first. Sounds a lot like the game against the Blues. Um, they ended that game 9-2 Avs. Like, so that's what I think about when I think about these two games coming up. I'm like, they're out there doing this. And also, Kadri is back on the team.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
then we also have to play the Wild as well. So
yeah, that's true. Hey, I'm seeing Pittsburgh on here. Are they any good right now, guys? I say guys as if you're two people.
Pittsburgh, they beat Detroit, what was it, 5-1 last night or something like that, which is a good thing for us because the lower that Detroit gets in the standings, the better that draft pick gets for us.
Yep.
So I will take that. But yeah,
Wow. Pittsburgh is 38,
Crosby's
21, and
back.
16, guys.
Yeah. And they beat the Islanders, including our old boy Shinner, 8-3 on Monday. They beat Red Wings 5-1 last night. And, tomorrow they play the Lightning. And so.
My God.
And then they have a back-to-back with the Panthers. But either way, I think that I wouldn't judge a team as far as what they did the night before or 2 nights before.
True.
All things considered, I mean, the East Coast is kind of weak in a general sense. If anybody from the East Coast has to play Colorado, they're done.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody has to play Colorado,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, the East Coast, the entire league. Because even if you look at the West, like other than Avalanche and Stars, and maybe Minnesota, like everybody's pretty like much in the same spot. Now, okay, take Vancouver out of that too.
Deleted.
Right. But other than that, like, yeah, everybody, if anyone goes up against these guys, they're probably not going to fare too well.
I think that's like the kind of the vibe of the whole conference right now is I don't want to go like you got Nashville Predators, you got Detroit. Everybody's just kind of falling down now.
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
Blues are rising, which I'll take and I'll accept because this is what we do. But at the same time, it's like nobody wants to just get a playoff berth and then be out in 4 games.
Yep.
It's a tough sell, especially for, the Blues have been around since 1967. We've made it to the finals a few times. We won the cup once. And I think that going into a situation where you're playing such a stellar team like the Colorado Avalanche with all their all-stars and stuff, I would love to be a spoiler for those guys so much.
Like, honestly, that would be my Stanley Cup. Like, for this season at least, like for building up to it, if you were to somehow knock out it first of all, if you were able to make it to the playoffs, knock Colorado out, you can lose the rest. I don't care. Like, because that's my Stanley Cup. Just take them out. Like, with Kadri there, like, do it with Benner.
Dude, I'll tell you this much right now. Like, yes, we do stand a chance only because hockey is a puncher's match. It's like, who gets that goal? Like, we have the top NHL rookie, and I think that the team will just rise to the occasion, I feel. And depending on who's in net, but dude, this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough couple. I'll tell you that. But here we are. It's April 1st, April Fool's Day. Hello. Yep. And we're discussing the Blues in a game that counts.
Yeah, like a playoff race.
Yes. And if you look back at our record, we weren't saying this stuff the first 4 months of the season.
No.
So to be even able to say that as a Blues fan, let's go. You know?
Absolutely. And honestly, I think we close on that very positive note. I want to thank, first of all, let's stop here for a minute. I want to thank everybody who has checked out the podcast on our YouTube page, on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all of the places. We thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate it. We also thank Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring us, keeping the lights on. And we want to thank I-70 Sports Media for putting us on and getting us out there to everybody. We really appreciate this entire cool little team we've got, this cool little community. We hope to strengthen it, keep more good quality stuff coming you guys' way. And other than that, love you guys. Let's go Blues. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4 meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.